I'm going to do a tutorial here on how to do the chain stitch. The hardest part about learning how to crochet is figuring out how you want to hold your hook and figuring out how you want to hold your yarn and your work. So the best way to learn how to do that is to just do this chain stitch, chain, and have some practice yarn. Get a cheap yarn because it's much easier to work with. It kind of stands up better to if you use it over and over again, and you don't, with specialty yarn, sometimes you have to work with things that kind of mask your stitches, which is good when you understand a little bit more what you're doing, but not so good when you're just starting out, because it's really good to see those stitches. And even cotton thread can split, which can be very frustrating when you just start. Okay, so what we're going to do is start with the slip stitch, which is what you start everything with. You're going to go around your fingers till you've got this cross here. I'm going to go in the one side, making sure this stays in. Go through and hook it with your crochet hook, and then pull it tight. Okay, so now this is your slip stitch. Here's your tail end. Your working end is what comes out of your yarn. So we're going to start doing the chain. So we start with the slip stitch, and the chain is basically just a loop through a loop. So we've got the slip stitch on, and as you see, I'm holding it. Usually I have it a couple times around my finger. Just depends on what works for you. Like I said, and the best way to figure that out is just to chain and work with the yarn and figure out what feels comfortable. If what I'm doing doesn't feel comfortable, there are drawings that you can find in books or watching other tutorials, but just figure out how it works best for you to keep that tension consistent. That's a very important part. Okay, so you're going around the hook and you're going to bring it through. Around the hook and bring it through. Around the hook and bring it through. And then you'll do this for as long as you need that to be. Usually at the beginning of the pattern they tell you, for a blanket or something it might be 100, a whole bunch of stitches, or if you're doing, I would suggest starting on a smaller project, because then it's easier to work on a smaller scale at first. Okay, so you can see I'm doing it kind of faster now. This. So you just hook it, bring it through. Hook it, and bring it through that loop on your chain. Bring it through. Hook it, and bring it through. Okay, so that's got a whole bunch now. That's how you do a chain stitch. Yes. Thanks.